They say Echo Lake was bottomless, the water so dark that even the sunlight couldn't touch its depths. But locals whispered about something else. A sound that came from below just before someone drowned. It wasn't thunder. It wasn't machinery. It was a voice. Ethan Cole, an audio engineer from the city, came to Echo Lake on assignment. A government research group had hired him to investigate unexplained underwater frequencies. He thought it was just a technical issue, maybe a sonar glitch. He had no idea what he was really recording. He set up camp near the water's edge. The lake stretched endlessly, shrouded in mist, smooth as glass. Locals avoided it, even during the day.
Don't stay near the lake after sundown. It remembers who listens.
I'll be fine.
That night, he placed his hydrophones into the black water and started recording. The computer hissed with static. Then, a low hum began. It wasn't mechanical. It moved like it was breathing. And beneath it, a faint sound, like someone whispering, far below the surface. He increased the gain.
Help me find the bottom?
Ethan froze. The voice seemed to echo inside his head, not through the headphones. Determined to debunk it, Ethan returned the next night. This time, the hum began immediately. Stronger, closer. Then came a splash from somewhere out in the fog. He aimed his flashlight. Nothing, just ripples.
You're standing where I drowned.
Ethan spun around. No one there. Only his reflection in the dark water. But as the ripples faded, the reflection didn't. It stayed smiling. Shaken, Ethan decided to trace the source of the sound. He followed the cables leading into the lake, recording as he walked along the dock. Suddenly the tape spiked with impossible frequencies, and then a scream tore through the headphones. He yanked them off. When he looked back toward the cabin, the lights flickered. In the window, for just a second, he saw a pale woman's face watching him, dripping wet. The next day, Ethan went to the town records office. He discovered something horrifying. 30 years ago, a research diver named Marla Vance had vanished during an underwater study of the same lake. Her body was never recovered. Her last radio transmission before she disappeared was transcribed in the report. "I can hear it calling. I think it knows my name." Ethan realized the voice in his recording said his name too, whispered just before the static hit. Ethan decided to go into the lake himself. He strapped on diving gear and lowered himself into the black water, carrying a waterproof recorder. At 10 meters deep, the light vanished. At 20, the pressure made his ears ache. At 30, the sound returned. But now, it wasn't a whisper. It was a chorus. "Find the bottom! Find the bottom!" The temperature dropped sharply. His flashlight flickered. Shapes began to move around him. Pale arms, faces, hair drifting like weeds. And among them, the woman from his recordings. Her mouth opened in a perfect scream, but no bubbles escaped. Instead, sound waves pulsed from her throat, straight into his ears. The recording spiked, then silence. The next morning, the boat was found drifting. Ethan's gear floated on the surface.
The recorder was still running, but it contained only one sound, a slow heartbeat. It's not a lake, it's a mouth.
The government sealed Echo Lake to the public, citing toxic contamination.
They'll never stop it. It always finds someone new to listen.
He spat into the water and turned away. As he walked off, faint ripples disturbed the surface, and a single voice rose from below, soft as breath. "Help me find the bottom."
From deep beneath the surface, the camera rises slowly toward the moonlight. Hundreds of pale faces drift upward, silent and still, eyes open. Among them, Ethan, mouth frozen mid-scream.
The sound begins again, the low hum, the whispers. Then, a single word. Next.
Sometimes, when you listen too closely, the dark starts to listen back.